Previously on Power Rangers Royal Britannia. The Royal Britannia Rangers faced a dire threat, Nephes, the Royal Blue Ranger, a formidable foe capable of absorbing the power and life force of other Rangers. The Ranger Council, led by Rocky, assembled all the Rangers from across Universe 20 to combat this menace. As they prepare to face Nephes, the Royal Britannia Rangers morphed alongside a vast array of Rangers from various teams. However, the battle took a tragic turn as Nephes killed Mark's team. Fueled by grief and rage, the Cornish Ranger unleashed the Sword of Darkness, leading to a fierce confrontation. With the intervention of Wes, Eric, and Daggeron, they managed to disarm Mark and save him from the dark energy influence. Now, Mark embarks on a quest across dimensions to stop Nephes and bring justice to his fallen team.
Power Rangers Dimension Jumping. Chapter 1. Maybe Mentor. In the vast expanse of the multiverse, where endless possibilities collide, different worlds exist, each with its own unique power and destiny. Among them, there is a world where the human race thrived within the protective confines of a domed city. Another world where majestic dinosaurs still roam free. Then there is a world blessed with the mighty ultra powers suppressing all others. And finally a world that lays the foundation for the future. Mark, the Red Cornish Ranger, hails from a parallel Earth, where he joined forces with a team of courageous warriors to combat the ever-looming forces of darkness. But in his world, he has endured great loss, witnessing the fall of his beloved Power Rangers Royal Britannia. Driven by an unyielding determination, Mark embarks on a ruthless pursuit, chasing after the one responsible for the destruction of his team. Across countless dimensions, he has travelled, encountering diverse worlds and formidable adversaries. But his ultimate goal remains unfulfilled, catching up with Nephes, the elusive culprit behind his immeasurable anguish. With unwavering courage and the weight of his fallen comrades resting on his shoulders, Mark continues his quest, ready to face any challenge that lies ahead. For he knows that, within the multiverse, where heroes and villains clash, fate can be rewritten and justice will prevail. The power of the Red Cornish Ranger burns brightly, igniting hope in every dimension he explores. And as he ventures forth, he remains steadfast, driven by the belief that someday he will finally confront Nephes and restore balance to his shattered world. A portal suddenly opens in a field, and Mark comes flying out, while still morphed. Mark hits the ground and demorphs, getting up and dusting himself off. I gotta work on my landing. He holds up the dimension jumper and scans it. Damn it, Mark exclaims as he hits the jumper, but the scanner remains static. Seriously, was this made in Cornwall? Can't get a signal. Where am I? In the distance, he spotted a house. Might as well try there, Mark said, walking towards the house. It's not far from where he landed. As he got closer, a man walked out of the house, causing Mark to stop in his tracks. The man has black hair, a green jacket with a white top. Mark recognised him from the Ultra Ranger memorial pictures back at the Ranger Council HQ. "It's about time you got here. I've been tracking you for days," the man said. "You're Tommy. Tommy Oliver. Green and white Mighty Morphin, Zeo Turbo Red, and Dino Black." "Well, the first one, yes, but in this universe, no. I didn't become the others. There was no need. Come inside and I'll explain everything." Tommy makes drinks for Mark and himself, as he tells Mark about the differences in his universe and how he knows Mark was coming. So, for the most part, what happens here is probably the same for you. 5 teenagers get given powers to fight an evil space witch. She fights back by making her own ranger, Tommy explained, pointing to himself. "They freed me from her spell, and I fought alongside them. Now, here's the switch. We beat Rita." "You beat her?" "Yep. Took down her palace and everything," Tommy proudly said. "What about Zed?" In a flash, the room changed to a darker tone. Mark rubbed his eyes. "Are you okay?" Tommy asked. "Yeah, must have been a rough trip. You were saying?" Mark replied. "Yes, well, after her defeat, we decided to split up and train others around the world. Jason went to Canada, Trini to Asia, Kim to Australia, Zach to South America, and William? William? Oh, Billy, yeah," Mark said, a little confused. "Yeah, Billy. Well, I don't know where he went," Tommy finished. "And you stayed here?" "Okay, so how did you know I was coming?" Mark asked. "Thanks to this." Tommy pointed to a white orb on a computer-like console. "You're not the first interdimensional travellers that come here. The first one gave us this. It's an up-to-date version of the viewing globe we used, but can show me other dimensions." "Fair enough," Mark said. "Now, I've seen what you can do," Tommy commented, "and I want to help train you in how to use the Mighty Morphin powers." "That would help. In my universe, all of you had died, fighting a big evil." Once again, there was a flash, and Mark sees it this time. "What was that?" "What was what?" "Never mind. Let's get started. First, it's morphin time," Tommy says, and they walked outside. Mark took out his morpher and cried, "Kerno Bisficken!" Mark, filled with excitement, transformed into the mighty Red Cornish Ranger, ready to unleash his power. "All right, let's kick things off with the green power," said Tommy. "Sure," replied Mark, retrieving the Dragon Dagger flute from his belt. "With this power, you can channel the energy through the dagger to create a protective shield," explained Tommy. "Ah, I got this one," Mark explained, bringing the flute to where his lips were under the helmet and playing a melody. Suddenly, a powerful shield materialized around him, safeguarding him from harm. "But did you know that you can also use it to ensnare your enemies?" "How?" Mark inquired. "Play the same notes, but direct the dagger towards your target," advised Tommy. Following the instructions, Mark played the tune once more. Pointing the dagger at Tommy, in an instant, an energy field shot forth, ensnaring Tommy within the formidable shield. "Wow, that's incredible," Mark marvelled at his newfound ability. As the days passed, Tommy guided Mark through the usage of various weapons, including the legendary Saba. However, Mark couldn't help but notice something peculiar. Tommy, possessing knowledge of the White Ranger powers, despite previously claiming otherwise. Intrigued, Mark questioned Tommy about this, and in that moment, a sudden flash caught his attention from the corner of his eye. Okay, what was that? There was an explosion in the town close by. "Reefside is being attacked. You're the only ranger that can stop it. Please, help." Mark nodded and swiftly headed towards the source of the explosion. Crushing through the town, a monstrous creature with a lion's head and a snake's tail was wreaking havoc. "Hey, Leo, why don't you find a ball of yarn to play with?" Mark taunted.
"A little ranger. My master Mesogog will be pleased,"
replied the creature. "Mesa what? Hang on." Mark swiftly dodged an attack and pulled out his morpher. "It's morphing time! Kono Bisviken!" As the energy surged around Mark, a red suit appeared and his morpher found its place on his belt. A gold shield materialized with the Cornish crest at its heart. A sleek black helmet with a white crossbow visor appeared on his head. "All right, let's finish this fast. Red Ranger, power sword!" Mark shouted, pressing his morpher. A red sword materialized in his hand. He also summoned Saba, the talking saber. With determination, Mark charged at the monster. With little effort, he struck a powerful blow, sending the creature struggling backwards. Then, in a swift motion, he charged Saba and the power sword, engulfing them in dazzling white and red. In one swift motion, he cut the monster down, ending the threat. That was too easy. "Tommy, I got some questions for you." Mark headed back to the house, but did not unmorph. He walked into the house. Tommy, where are you?" Mark shouted with urgency. "I'm right here," Tommy replied, emerging from behind Mark in the doorway he had just walked through. You know, Tommy, I didn't ask. How do you know about Saba?" Mark said. "From the Dimension Globe," Tommy answered confidently. Right, yeah. One last question. How did you escape the green candle?" The room flickered again, revealing a more detailed glimpse. The walls transformed from normal to mouldy and decaying, then back to normal. I, Tommy stuttered, struggling to find the words. "See, that was the beginning, wasn't it? The fall of the Green Ranger," Mark started, the room flickering once more. This time, Mark spotted something in the far corner. He reached out his hand, and within it appeared a blade blaster. He fired in the corner. Out of nowhere, a red ruby shattered, and Tommy disappeared. The walls turned grey, mouldy, and decaying. In the corner, a man with grizzled hair and beard knelt on the floor. Next to him lay a staff with a round, moon-like circle on top. Now, broken glass, what used to be the red ruby, Mark had shot and shattered it. And the man on the floor was crying.
"You broke it! You broke it,"
he whimpered. Mark sent the blade blaster back to where it came from and removed his helmet. He sat down next to the man, looking into his tear-filled eyes, and realized who it was. "You didn't defeat her, did you? She won, or something. What really happened, Jason?" Mark asked, seeing the person he knew long ago as a young teen, now a broken man.
"She used the candles on each of them and gave me their coins, but it was too late. The energy drain killed them. I tried to stop her, and I did, but at a cost. The world was broken. I broke it. One man should not handle all the Ranger powers. It was just too much for the Earth."
"And somehow you managed to obtain her staff, decrypted its secrets, created a realm of fantasy," Mark concluded.
"Yes, it was through the staff that I glimpsed other worlds, including yours. To be honest, it overwhelmed me. But I didn't care. I yearned for something to be restored,"
Jason confessed. Mark pulled out his dimension jumper. "I believe your staff may have been interfering with this device," Mark noted. He pressed a button and called out. "Mark, call in the DCC. Come in." A familiar voice responded from the other end. Mark, it's Wes. Are you alright? You've been out of contact for days. Yeah, I'm fine. Listen, can I send someone from another dimension back to you? He needs help, and I can't leave him here. It's not right, Mark explained. Yeah, I think so. It depends on who it is, Wes responded. It's Jason, or rather a version of Jason, Mark revealed. That's all right. Send him through. We'll assist him, Wes agreed. Mark pressed another button and a portal materialised. Go on. You'll be safe in Universe 20. It might even give you something meaningful to do, Mark assured Jason.
Thank you, Mark.
Jason expressed his gratitude, shaking Mark's hand. He turned to walk into the portal, but then turned back, fixing his gaze on Mark.
Someone's watching. They're manipulating events, moving you like a chess piece. Be cautious,
he warned before stepping into the portal, which promptly closed behind him. Mark turned and opened another portal. If you're watching, then either lend a hand or stay out of my way, Mark declared loudly. Someone's watching? Well... If you're watching, either help or keep your distance.
In the land without time and space, the menace who was dealing and meddling with the affairs of the Red Cornish Ranger sat there viewing the portal monitor, viewing the Red Cornish Ranger himself. He sat there with a smile on his face, knowing full well that Mark's little lashing out was aimed at him. Oh, Mark. I'm sorry. If I could tell you who I was, I would. Maybe it would have been a little easier. But when I saw you fighting Lord Zed, oh, I had so many ideas, so many plans. It's not my fault I had to mess up a few times. But don't worry, Mark. I am helping you. Sadly, you have to go through some traumatic experiences. But what's life without trauma, am I right? What am I saying? Of course, you're going to be annoyed. You haven't even begun, Mark. You haven't even started yet. The things that you're going to go through are unimaginable. Not all my doing, but most of it is. Oh, Mark, you know nothing. Just wait and see, Mark, the man chuckled to himself. He stood up and walked over to his chessboard, an empty chessboard, with the numbers 2118 scribbled over it. He then picked up Mark's chess piece, and he held it in his hands. Well, you see, Mark, I need you for something a bit more dramatic on a global scale. I just need you to prepare yourself first. And one day, just one, if we do ever meet, you'll stand there oh so angry, oh so annoyed. But you'll thank me. I promise, the man said with a grin on his face. He then placed down Mark's chess piece and waited for Mark's next move.
With determination, Mark stepped into the portal, venturing towards the next Earth, hoping he will catch up with nephes. Guest starring in today's episode was Jared from If You Give a Dad a Podcast, Cosplay Dude 637 as Jason, and Ty Tiger as the mysterious William Cranston.